Monster, will he be
But it's
the
not
heir of
Monster.
Maniwa, Jinro and Co? No, he's not even playing. And then Mini Razor, can he salvage 2015 with a good NationWars performance? No, definitely not.
What is the hair? I don't even know that word.
The hair is like the
Hair.
successor.
Like a okay, cool. Learn something new every day, Litot. Can he salvage 2015?
Like
with a
you're the heir of your father's empire, you know, like that expression.
He lost his empire when I was 4, Todd. My parents always tell me that I was born 10 years too late. My brother, he got all the luxury gifts, and then Roddy grew up in the ghettos of Rotterdam.
Sick life.
Sick life.
Sick life.
Never lucky.
Baby rage, my brother got everything.
Why is it time to regain passion? What does it mean? He lost the passion?
Yeah, Marine Lord,
What?
like he went through some tough times, and then he openly talked about how he was maybe gonna retire, and he like maybe wasn't enjoying himself as much. So, yeah, maybe it's time to regain his passion.
You know, Marino has a very legendary last name, Eusebio.
Eusebio.
Yeah.
You know where? I think that's originally from Argentina or something. I
Could
think
be.
he told me once.
That's a legendary football player who was Portuguese, I believe. And his name is Eusebio. He's considered to be like one of the best 10 players of all time. even
What?
though you
Really?
don't- Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Eusebio.
Oh, look at his cool photos. Lil Bo, Marine Lord, and Stefano.
I love that picture of Stefano, by the way. That's one of my favorite esport pictures of all time. I think
He's in
Helena took it.
socks. Whoa.
What?
Oh,
the
nice.
Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, you guys kept talking about the Moulin Rouge earlier. There you go. There you have it. You want to go? Look at
Yes,
them.
absolutely. We want
They're
to go.
sexy. Stefano in particular.
If I can see Marino in action like that, I want to go. But if Marino is not there dancing like that, I will leave immediately because that's not the type of place I like to be found at.
Never too early to learn Stalker.
Oh.
True.
He doesn't look very happy.
No, he's like that, really. Like.
He's looking away, actually. You should like
No,
position it so he can
that's
watch
because
again.
it's
It's not very efficient, you know?
No,
You
that's
should,
because
like,
it's a-
force him to watch.
the little kid is a Terran player and he like refuses to watch PvP. He's already a rebel. That's what's going on over there. It's very cool, actually. This is a PvP. Of course, we Todd and me are very excited to get some PvP. Do you like PvP?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually. I was watching the partying against Showtime at the...
Oh, yeah. That was sick.
That was a sick game. It
Disruptors.
was like sick dodge, yeah.
Hey, I think this is a very good map as well. So we're getting ready to hop into the first game of France versus Sweden. I want to hear the passion here in this
Olé!
studio because everybody's want to go wale wale. But Arena as first map, Latot. I think this is exactly the type of map that if Moro is going to contribute to a Swedish victory, it has to happen here. PvP on this weird, bizarre map, sky's the limit. Anything can happen.
All right, starting in the top left-hand side of the map, playing as the Blue Protoss, and of course, he plays for France. It is, of course, Lil Bo!
Lilbo!
Allez!
And to keep one tradition in life, I want you to introduce a Swedish player.
Me? What the fuck? Alright, in the bottom left corner, is it gonna show him?
Yeah, that's the screen.
Yeah, you should look at that one.
Oh, so sick, I'm fishing. In the bottom left corner, we have the Swedish red Protoss, and it is Moro, the captain of the Sweden, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was watching at the wrong screen.
Last night, he's taking his toll on some of us, like Apollo and Elke in particular.
Who could have ever thought that we would see the day in Stalker where Roddy was the most mature man?
Are you, though?
Yeah?
Not yet.
Okay.
You have not surpassed me yet.
Well, last night I earned a few stripes, though.
Yeah, this map is pretty cool, actually. It seems like it plays way different than the other maps, because
Yeah, it's a very unique map, of course, because of that little hallway / path that connects both bases, but in PvP it doesn't mean that much. You know, Todd, have you played Nexus first on this map? Because at first I thought Nexus first there is suicide, but I think Nexus first and then just dropping a pylon in the middle to keep the adepts away is actually not all that bad. I think
You mean without anything before, like Pylon Nexus, or with a gateway before the Nexus?
No, like Nexus, Gate, and then like you
Okay.
drop a pylon to keep the adepts away. I think the only thing you have to worry about then is maybe a mothership core being sent to your base immediately. That could
Yeah.
be very annoying. Mothership core is wrecking your probes.
Yeah, it could be good. Usually, though, you see more often, more like a, one gate, one gas that you don't mind from Nexus, and then you start mining gas and stuff. But Lilbo,
Yeah.
double gateway, most likely going to be double adept here for some good harassments.
Yeah, but-
Typical Lilbo.
But then if I'm Moro here, what I do if
Oh
I'm
no,
Moro...
double stalker.
Okay, that's probably actually, that's a good variation.
Is he
to-
going to proxy? When people double stalkers, sometimes they pylon and mothership core rush for photon of a charge, and sometimes they proxy a robo or a stargate.
I think this might be a meta play, because I think Moro... Well, he's actually not dropping the Nexus yet. I thought he wanted to drop the Nexus and then maybe warp in the pylon over here, which would block adepts, but obviously the adepts won't keep you Stalkers will be able to take out of a pylon a lot quicker than Adepts. But Moro is not actually taking the bait, he's going for a defensive Robo. So I think this is gonna stop Lilba from going crazy aggressive and probably just expand. Don't you think so, Todd?
Yeah, I don't think he can be aggressive now. As it is, his probe's gonna get shut down, sent away, he's gonna stay home with his... He gets a 3rd and 4th Stalker. That's a really weird build.
Yeah, I think that Shadow is going to be walked in. Yep, Photon Overcharge might go down. Gets a couple of shots off. I think this Adept might actually fall before really seeing anything, so that's not the greatest use of
Well,
his
that's still
first
both
Adept.
planned. Does he drop 2 more gates? No, Nexus. Why this many Stalkers? Like, we don't really see this very often. I guess you have to go into Blink Stalkers most of the time anyway, no matter what. So he wanted to make sure that he had some offensive capability if he saw any holes in the build of his opponent.
Yeah.
At the same time, he was going to be very safe in defense with all of the Stalkers.
I really think he would have gone aggressive if he would have seen Moro go for a quicker expand or try to block this pathway off with a single pylon or this hallway. But since he saw the defensive Robo, he's like, well, alright, it would be stubborn not to expand myself right now.
Lilbo drops down his own Robo here. Behind this. Make sure he can get some detection on time.
What do you think about Photon Overcharge, Elki?
That's so strong. It's just, I think
So
it's a bit too strong, no?
A little bit.
It seems a little bit too strong.
I think they are thinking about raising or increasing the energy cost for Photon Overcharge. So
How much
instead
does
of
it cost?
25, it's now 25. So you can Photon Overcharge 8 times if your Mothership Core is full energy. But in the future they might increase it to 50, which means you only have 4.
Yeah, you start with only like a Mothership Core comes out with 50 energy when you make
so you
it.
can
So
do
it's
2
2
right away.
Yeah, right now it's 2, but then you only have 1.
Which would, I think, allow a lot more aggressive play against Protoss again in general.
Well, I mean,
I think if
Protoss
you
will
want to
never
make it,
win again, yeah.
like, that's a really big nerf. And I feel right now with the way that the meta is shaping up, if they want to do that, then I do feel that it should last a little longer. Because one of the main reasons why they put it to 25 energy is because the Photon Overcharge currently lasts very short.
What do you think, Kev, about the Immortals that are being made right now? It feels like it's not standard. Usually you see more Blink Stalkers. It's old school, right?
Yeah, it's very old school, but I think there is something that we haven't seen too much yet at high level PvP, but I think it's viable, where people rush up to disrupt this extremely quickly. You just make 3 or 4 Immortals, then 6k Blink Stalker, and you just go for it, attack. And I think if Moro does that and Leobag goes up to disrupt us immediately, you may have to dodge 1 or 2 disruptive shots, but as long as you spread out your Immortals and you won't lose all of them, even if Immortals have like 70 or 80 HP left after they get taken out by or they absorb a disruptor hit, they will still push out so much damage on your opponent's Stalker.
Yeah.
And the moment that the disruptors are on cooldown, I think you can make an Immortal push work. And if I'm Moro and I make this amount of Immortals, then I'm basically saying like, okay, I want to be very aggressive on 2
Oh,
base
he's gonna see gates.
slash
He's
trying to win
observer.
it.
Let's see how many it is. Just 2 additional ones from now. I think, yeah, like you were right on the money here. And Lilbo,
Yeah, he's gonna drop the Robo Bay immediately. Lilba might make 1 Immortal, but not more than that.
if he goes up to at least 4 gates though, I think he might be able to get enough in terms of Stalkers and everything, but...
I like this by Moro actually. I've played multiple PvPs like this myself, and it all comes down to how well do you split your units up and stuff. But the only tricky thing here is that there is a huge ramp going into the natural, so it's harder to attack on 2 bases than it is for on, you know, let's say a map that doesn't have a huge ramp in the second base. Give me
Observer.
one. Larelac Press, well, kind of has a ramp.
More going for a Prism and Robo Bay now.
Basically the way that Iron Fortress used to be.
And both players just gonna go for that 3rd base here.
But I still think Moro should start getting aggressive. If he does, well,
Yeah, he's gonna head across the map now.
because like Immortals are so strong in this phase
Oh,
of
the
the
War
game.
Prism gets spotted in the middle of the map with the Stalker that was at the Watchtower. He saw that just pass by,
I think it's not the end of the world. You don't have to use it.
but he's not going to the main though.
I would
Maybe
actually
recall?
use the Prism for reinforcements. Quicker reinforcement would be massive. If I'm Moro, if I want to be aggressive, I wouldn't go through this little choke point though. Now I would go through the rocks. You have Immortals. You want to spread them out.
Yeah, that Prism could do a lot of damage as somehow
There's a force field here as well.
Lilbo didn't see that Prism go by somehow, even though he had vision with the Stalker that he had at the... Disruptor is in position to maybe help against this.
What do you think, Aoki? Who's taking it? Are you worried for your boy?
I think it's good. It's okay because like if he like at this choke point, he's gonna have like so many more Stalkers shooting than his opponent. It's really hard to go for
Yeah,
there
yeah.
with the same unit composition, right?
Yeah, if I'm Moro, I would definitely go via the rocks. But it seems like he doesn't really want to be aggressive. Moro's satisfied with the position that he's in. But the longer he waits, the harder it's going to be to make those Immortals that he has really pay for themselves. Like, I think this is a good moment for Moro to go. Warp in 4 Stalkers. You can even keep the Prism still active in the main base, which forces the... No, Moro. Yes. Which forces a couple of units. Ah, good pickup there. Now send over the Prism to the main army. No, not like that, Moro. You want to keep that Prism alive. It's very important. I think this could be a very successful push, but Moro has to go real soon. If the disrupt account from Lilbo goes up to 4 or 5, then I think Moro's in
Moro has
trouble.
way more though. Lilbo, sorry.
Yeah, that's because Moro is not spending his money. Or he's spending it on
Lilbo is on 61 army against 46. I think Lilbo is absolutely going to trash Moro if they were to fight anytime soon.
Yeah, Moro waited for a very long time. But Moro has a lot of stuff in production at home. Like, he should actually go back. Lilbo could jump on top of this army, and then, well, jumping on top of Immortals is risky. But when you have double Robo and a Stargate and a Forge going down, you shouldn't be on the other side of the map with your army.
Yeah.
Moro, you're playing with fire.
I think he might just pull back now,
Yeah, he
and
should.
double Robo Disruptor is gonna have ground pretty well covered. The Stargates, I wonder if he's actually already thinking about transitioning into Tempest here.
No, I think it's more a safety Phoenix or maybe an Oracle for
How
something.
about carriers? Carriers.
No,
It takes too long.
I don't know about that.
It's not Brood Royalty.
Just try, sure.
Yeah, no, they are good, but it just takes a very, very long time to get carriers out. And if your opponent sees that you're going up to carriers, he just drops 4 extra gateways and makes a sick amount of arc on the Stalker and kills you.
Oracle. Oh, it's actually so important, Oracle.
Yeah, Revelation is great.
Oh, that's Stalker. Yeah, Revelation can be so important in these fights. Being able to see opponent's army at off time.
Oh, sick.
Lilbo blinks a little bit too late and he's going to lose a bunch of Stalkers there.
Man, Moro is playing good, man. I think it's really good. Let's not forget that these 3 Immortals do really matter as long as they're not all clumped up. Now, no, don't do that. Okay, he just lost 1 Disruptor. That's kind of painful. So
They're
far.
going to do the dance, man.
Yeah. Look at Lilbo, 1200 minerals.
Lilbo in the past though, he's been one of the more aggressive Protosses when like on 2-3 bases, he always knew when to hit like the right timing, so we'll see here if that's the case as well. Pretty late Forge here.
Are you referring to Heart of the Swarm or Legacy?
Yeah, Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. And I haven't seen too many PvPs yet in Legacy, but we saw Lilbo lose 0-2 against Majestic at DreamHack. Revelation is massive, that's very useful. I am impressed with how Moro is playing so far.
The Oracle in particular, I think, like gives him a lot of initiative. Like he has so much vision. Like if you take a look at his vision, he sees the entire army of his opponent.
Just be careful.
Look at this. He sees the whole army.
Okay,
and he's still messing it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the second time that Moro lost a Disruptor and actually didn't.
He's getting
kill any.
overeager. Like sometimes if you get too close and you're like, I really want to blow something up, then that's when you will lose a little bit more.
I started to get a little worried, Elky.
No, I'm okay, I think. I just do this plus for free, so I think...
But you know that the jinx or the curse is very, very real. If France loses the first map here again, like if Moro loses to
If
Lilbo...
even Moro wins, he's definitely on Elky.
Oh, one more!
Oh,
wow,
that
so
was
close.
This is like actually kind of silly. I'm still not really sure how I feel about PvP in its current state. A bunch of disruptor balls being shot back and forth.
Is there any other way to play it than making
No.
disruptors
Nope.
and disruptors?
Unless there's a few all-ins, maybe,
Yeah,
that
with
can
Immortal,
work.
Blink Stalker. Well.
But they would be much earlier into the game. Like at this stage in the game, if you try almost anything else, then if you try to add Colossus, for example, I think it's going to be pretty
Actually,
fast.
Showtime added Tempest.
Yeah,
Oh!
Tempest. Tempest is the one thing that you can add from this point onwards, because you've got ground covered with enough disruptors.
So I like Lilbo's army. Oh, wow, that was a very good connection from Moro. I like Lilbo's army.
Lilbo has one single group of units.
Look at Moro! Look at Moro! He's
Yeah.
picking off important
If you put
units one by
Stalkers
one.
and Disruptor in the same group of units, it's
Yeah.
going to be so much harder to do this than if you split Stalkers
Moro!
from...
Oh, not paying attention there for a split second. But at first, like Lilbo was getting the better trades, but then
Yeah.
suddenly Moro got a couple of very
Lilbo
big
needs
hits.
to fix that. He needs to use 2 groups here.
But
One with just
so
Stalkers.
much more army and
But,
money.
but Todd, I've played Protoss for years. Don't tell me to use 2 groups suddenly.
Yeah, but like, man, you have to...
I'm kidding. I totally
You know,
agree with
when
you.
I started playing, when I put my Stalkers and Disruptor together, like every single time, I feel you can't win. Against a good player that will use 2 groups, you can't win, because you have to go forward with your whole army, and then blinking and using Disruptor will take way too long.
Oh, what's going on?
Lilbo!
Some big
He
hits
wasn't
there.
looking. He was looking elsewhere, and now some more big detonations. He blows... What?
Disruptors for disruptors. Moro actually took out a couple of disruptors
That
there.
was so far.
And look at the amount of money that Lilbo has. I'm a little bit surprised, Todd. Why is he not trying to spend it in any other way? Oh, Moro with the drop! Okay, good blink
Oh,
there.
whoa.
Excellent blink. Well, that was very
Yeah.
ambitious and very expensive in the end.
Yeah,
Actually, Lilbo might just attack here. He's got way more Disruptors. Look at this. Only one of the 2 Disruptors now. He's going to have a detonation
it's my
available.
drop against Blink Stalker is not really...
Nah, it's risky, but sometimes you can catch your opponent off guard, you know.
You
if
can just blink. You can just blink out of it, right?
But if you if your opponent looks away for a split second, look at the production tab though, Todd. Dark Shrine finishing up. I think the War Prism is the War Prism is not alive anymore.
Tempest.
But double Tempest on the way already, and Lil Bao is 2,400 minerals. He's just stuck.
Yeah, Tempests are going to be so important here because you can't counter them.
Stasis. I think he should get a stasis.
How do you counter the Tempest?
You need to have Tempest as well. If you blink forward under the Tempest, imagine what the Disruptor will do to the Stalkers. So,
hey, Moro's playing so well, guys. He's wiping in 3 Dark Templars. Are we looking at a potential very big upset over here in the first game of the last Nation War of Week 1?
There is no cannon in any of the mineral lines of Lilbo here.
Yeah, oh my god. He's gonna take...
He has one
How many
single observer? One.
One? Where is it?
I can't find it.
Probably with the army then
Yeah,
somewhere.
the army. Oh!
Wow, Moro's just playing better right now with these Dark Templars doing some serious work.
He has to recall, he has to recall.
Yeah, but then he's gonna lose one of his other bases. Moro's moving forward with the real army. He's gonna attack Revelation and a couple Disruptors, take him out as well. Is Moro actually just destroying Lil Bao in a PvP over here?
So far, it's looking pretty dicey here for Lilbo to be able to win this.
Elki's shaking his head, he can't believe it. Franz hasn't won a single game yet since he's been behind the casting desk.
Okay, nice defense on the Nexus from Lilbo.
Lilbo's,
You know, actually this can backfire. Lilbo is on 58 probes against 69, so his maxed out army is going to be bigger, but the Tempest will have no answer no matter what here.
Tempest, Oracles, he still has to worry about the DTs when he starts attacking as well. At least there are a couple of cannons at the port base, but Moro in a really good spot. What is the Disruptor count at right now, Johan? Because I feel it's in favor of Moro. Yes, it is. Well, just 8 against 7. But here are those Tempests. You can't forward blink. Wow, that's a very weird blink. Oh my god, what a massive hit there by Moro.
What
Yeah, Tempest being attacked now, but that's going to give a lot of room for Disruptors to do a lot of damage. Blink back here from Lilbo.
The Immortals are still alive as well, Johan. These Immortals are pushing out so much damage.
Yeah, Lilbo is running out of units. 71 army supply to 108. Moro crushing through. And maybe with the upset here. Elki, what have you done?
Look at all these stuff. Okay, a couple of good Disruptor hits there, but I don't...
he's gonna lose this one. I don't know, it feels like he was playing kind of passively, and he's like...
He just didn't transition. Well, Moro was doing all the right things, you know. He's transitioning, he's showing himself. Lil Bao was stuck on simple gateways and double disruptive production. You still have to be careful, of course, because this game is not over till it's truly over with all these disruptors. That's a very juicy hit.
He needs like 4 more like this, but not having any...
Just killing that Robo, I think, is a great start for Moro. Does Moro have a War Prism or something? Yes, he does. Man, he's playing excellent. Very impressed.
Yeah, looking to try and finish. There's quite a few cannons on the right-hand side. If Lilbo can buy enough time here, he's going to need a crazy recovery. 4 more Tempests coming, I think.
Disruptors are very good units.
He's going to have too much. Snipes the Disruptors as well. Tempests come back in, and Lilbo is going to be down to his last few units. Sweden, man.
Moro, the captain, actually hasn't won a whole lot. Oh, those are a couple of very juicy hits, but I think in the end it doesn't really matter as Moro's still up 50 supply, and you said it as well, Johan. With these 4 Tempests here. Okay, I think they're gonna remove you from the casting desk soon, mate.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad. Like, man, who could have predicted this? And I kind of said it, you know, Moro maybe in a cheeky PvP, and he played. I don't think victory at all. I think he did everything right. He transitioned when he had room. I love the opening with the Immortals as well. It's just a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, when you have to pull the probes against Tempests and Disruptors, that's when you know you're in trouble. Moro doing exactly what he needed to, and that was pretty impressive. GG.
Wow.
Sweden goes up 1-0 against France.
Moro, the captain, takes out Lilbo, the WCS Season 3 champion. There are a lot of easy jokes here to make where I'm definitely not going, but I'm very impressed with Moro. Once again, I did not feel that this was a lucky victory. I felt he just played better. He's transitioning, going up to Tempest. He was active with his Disruptors. He was controlling his units properly. The DT's transition, going up to 4 bases. He kept his money way lower than Lil Bao did. I can only applaud Moro's performance here.
Yeah, Moro played very well. I think it's kind of disappointing because Lil Bao didn't really do very much. He was like, I don't know, he was kind of like, he never had the initiative, and he never really took any, like, I don't know, he never didn't. It feels like he just like...
He just sat there and let it happen to him.
Kind of waited and like reacted a little bit, but yeah, it seemed like he was playing very passively.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 2,000 minerals at a certain point, had nothing on the production tab other than like a double disruptor all the time. And at first he was getting better trades, but at a certain point, Moro really picked up on the disruptive movement.
Canadian support friends.
And he was getting much juicier connections. Either way, keep the tweets coming. Hashtag NW3. Suddenly, this last Nation War is going to be very, very exciting. Of course, for this week, we'll be back next Thursday with much more StarCraft action. Friends going all the way in. Hashtag NationWars. Hashtag NW3. Send
That's
us more.
magnificent baguettes.
I want some more baguettes. I loved your interview, by the way. When you were doing the post-game analysis
like
yesterday, you're standing here with your baguette. Okay, what's going to happen? If
who do you think they're gonna send against more Stefano or
I think
Marine Lord?
I think it has to be Marine Lord.
Like it depends. Like the first question they should ask themselves, like Marine Lord is gonna have to be like the one guy here to carry. So the question is, does Stefano feel confident to beat Moro? And the answer I think would be yes.
Yeah,
I think
actually,
Stefano should come out.
I think I'm with you, Johan.
It's
Well, it
Dust
depends on the map
Towers
too,
as
right?
well.
It depends on the map, right?
Yes. What's the map, Johan?
Dust Towers.
I think that's a reasonable map for Protoss against Zerg, in all honesty,
Yeah.
but I don't think Marine Lord likes it a whole... Well, maybe the forward base can be a little bit tricky to take, but I think you're right. I think you're looking at this right now, you don't think too far down the line, you just think like, all right, we're down, 0-1, this is not good. We have Stefano as well, who's still a little bit of a question mark. How good is he truly at the moment?
Actually, I think the next maps also impact who come out now,
Okay.
because Marine Lord said he doesn't like to play against Zerg, and Sweden has 2 Zergs left, so they probably look at the next maps as well. Like,
Orbital
now-
Shipyard is a very straightforward, fair map, I think.
yeah, and then Prion Terraces. So if Marine Lord feels better about or worse about playing, against Zergs, and on these maps in particular, maybe like send out Stefano now to try and take out Moro, and then maybe lose to a Zerg. Or actually, to be honest, if Stefano comes out now and takes out Moro, it's easy, it's anybody's game.
This was such a big victory, though, for Moro, taking out Lilba, one of the stronger players. This time, I was not the hipster, guys. This time, I didn't go for the hipster Sweden pick. But things are starting to look a little dicey. Imri is already wrong. Apollo is already wrong, but that's no surprise. Apollo has never gone back-to-back in predictions.
Yeah.
It's too much to ask.
I don't think he cares about the prediction as much as he cares about everything else where he tries to go back-to-back in, if you know what I mean.
Back-to-back. Let's see if he can do it tonight. Let's see if France can win a game. That would be sick, actually. Every game France I casted, they never win.
I
lucky.
think that's going to be broken right here, right now. But I think looking back at it, I think the France team made a mistake. I don't think you should send Lilbao out first. I think it was a little bit risky. Maybe they didn't expect Moro. Maybe they didn't expect the PvP. But we know that Lilbao is not a star in PvP. He's always been more spectacular. That was a great word. Spectacular in PvZ or PvT. But we'll see. Who am I? Who am I to judge the actions of Ilias Saturi, the captain? Or maybe it's more like a joint discussion. I guess they just didn't expect Moro at first. I'm expecting Stefano right now. Like, I think putting Stefano to good use is the most important thing they can possibly do. I think Ilias' ZVZ is decent, and I think he can take Moro out in a ZVP.
He was pretty disappointing earlier when he played, but he said that he was only used as a bait, according to him. So.
I mean, that wasn't even a bad ZVP. It was more just that he forgot there were a couple of links out on the map that really caught him off guard and just put sort of ahead economically. Other than that, it wasn't a horrible effort. I think.
Who is it going to be, boys?
I think Stefano.
Stefano? I would like to see Stefano, yeah. That'd be fun. But on the other hand, if like Marine Lord doesn't like to play against Zerg, and like there's only one Protoss, he doesn't like to play against Zerg, and the 2 other guys are Zerg,
Yeah.
might as well get the win against Protoss, right? Otherwise it's going to be
It's time. Who is it going to be?
I think Ilias. Is going to be Ilias, the captain himself.
Marine Lords
The legend.
or Stefano? It is Marine Lords. All right.
I suck at these predictions.
So Terran versus Protoss. Marine Lord pretty confident here to come out on Dusk Towers to try and take out Moro and then take on some Zergs.
Interesting. Of course, Moro, for the people who don't know or haven't been following soccer for that long, was a Terran player once upon a time, even a successful Terran player. He won the first big offline StarCraft 2 event ever, all the way back in 2010 into Extreme Masters, back then as a Terran. So I feel like if once upon a time you've been such a diehard Terran player, you will never forget what you hate the most when you're on the other side. Like right
Yeah.
now, he's Protoss.
How long has he been Protoss for?
Only a couple of months, I think.
Yeah,
like
not long.
Why?
a month or two.
Because he saw the trailer of the Legacy of the Void. It's just so inspiring. It's like,
I don't know if that's the reason. I think Moro had been vocal about like not liking to play against Protoss for a very long time, so maybe he wanted to join the dark side, but in Legacy of the Void, to be honest, it's pretty tough.
I am your father.
Protoss or Terran? What? Which one is tough?
Yeah, Protoss is pretty tough, I think, like to I mean,
play?
maybe it's like
Yeah.
the bias me that says that, but I think a lot of players have been said that like, towards the end of Heart of the Swarm, Protoss was doing pretty well. A lot of stuff had been figured out, timings, all-ins, force fields, whereas now like everything's been reset, and so far I haven't seen too many Protoss do very, very well. At DreamHack there was like this
Parting
huge...
was doing good. Parting was doing good.
Yeah, but like he's he's one of the exceptions. Sparting and Showtime are like the two guys at DreamHack that showed that like Protoss can win, but other than them, before that, there was a huge consensus that Protoss was having a really hard time.
So let's see, yeah.
I think it has a little bit to do with just overall motivation as well for Moro. He's streaming a lot more, trying to make a living that way, and if you want to do that, it's very important that you truly enjoy yourself, because if you're not having fun, how will your viewers have fun, right? Like if you don't enjoy doing something, then the people who watch you won't enjoy it either. So maybe you just want to have a fresh start and see how much he would enjoy the game playing
Why can't
Protoss.
you play random? You should play random, actually. Random is fun.
I mean, like maybe if he plays Protoss for 2-3 months, then he's just going to be like, all right, I'm officially a random player from now on. We've had a couple of people in the past try random. TLO tried it for a while, but he didn't do it forever.
This stuff is really hard.
It is very tricky, especially because on a certain point when you start doing well in the tournament, you know, you're on a good run, then it's suddenly like, okay, I'm playing against the Zerg. No, man, my team